This is, historically, this is one of the driest years we've had, really, since I think we've been keeping records. And one of the things that we thought we were actually pretty safe with Como Creek, but about a week ago we got a call from the Mountain Research Station saying that Como Creek was starting to lose water at the upper end, and we went up that afternoon and looked at the stream, and Como Creek is set up in a series of basins, and in fact the upper basins were drying out, and the recovery team was concerned that we would start losing fish as the stream dried. The stream was generally at that location is anywhere from 5 to 7 feet wide in June and July, and this year in late July it was less than 2 feet wide and very, very shallow. So we were concerned that if there was not rains in the near future, that the fish would be lost, and that at the level the stream currently was at, is that things like raccoons and the mink would move in and start removing the fish. So what we decided to do was, rather than wait and lose the fish to drying conditions and to predators, that we wanted to move these fish into a new location. And that's really the goal of the recovery plan, is to take these fish that survived up to about 1973 with the listing of the species under the Endangered Species Act, and move them into new waters. And with cooperation of the Boulder Watershed and Water Department, we were offered this site up here, and since it's very close to the historic location of Como Creek, we took advantage of the site of moving these fish up.
I'm Jeff Mitten. I'm a geneticist. I specialize in natural populations, and I've been working at CU for 28 years.
And what part did you play in this?
I have an interest in the natural populations of the various cutthroat subspecies, and I learned that there was a rescue effort going on at Como Creek, and I asked if there was a possibility of getting a sample of fish from there. We're interested in several questions about greenback cutthroat trout. One question we're interested in is, are the greenback from the Platte River system different from those in the Arkansas River system? Are they pretty much the same, or are they different? Similarly, just how different are greenback from Rio Grande, or greenback from Colorado River, or greenback from Yellowstone? And so I've been sampling different populations, sometimes from fish hatcheries. I prefer natural populations. So this rescue effort was a real opportunity to tag along, get some fin clips, and with just a tiny amount of adipose tissue from the adipose fin, we can get mitochondrial DNA markers, microsatellite markers, and be able to characterize how much variation there is within a population, how much difference there is from place to place, and how much difference there is among different subspecies. So I helped primarily last week with the taking the adipose fins, and I knew that they were going to be hiking them up today, and I wanted to see where the fish were going to be living. So I carried up a bucket of fish and
sure did.
Had a nice day out in the field.
So you think they've got a good home here?
I would imagine that these fish have just gone through the most amazing ecological release you can imagine. They, when we took them out of Como Creek, they were in a creek that was in places 2 to 3 inches deep and 10 inches across, and it was shrinking. In other places there were just some pools left. Here they are in a lake that is about as pristine gets. Lots of food, and suddenly they're no longer cramped.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east
we actually collected the fish last week and held them in a location, secure location, in hopes of getting a helicopter and moving the fish up to here. But the helicopter move really didn't work, and so today we did it the old-fashioned way and backpacked the fish in. And this really does look like a good restoration site. We were able to move over 300 fish from Como Creek to the area that was losing water into this site. This site is similar to other high elevations locations that we have done greenback restoration. There's no fish in this lake right now. However, the water temperature as we sit here today is 53 degrees out in the lake right here, even when it mixes with the water coming out of the glacier. And then this stream coming in here is actually about 57 degrees, and it looks like that it'll be a really good spot for the fish to run into and take eggs. And generally in these high lakes like this, once the fish go in, it takes them several years to acclimate and start looking for a spawning site. So what's going to happen in the next couple of years is the recovery team in the Colorado Division of Wildlife and in cooperation with the city of Boulder will be looking at different sites around here, looking to see if the fish are what they're moving into. You know, best guess is they probably will move into this inlet stream, and then probably part of the population will use the outlet stream where it's a little bit warmer. But only time will tell, what they're going to pick and really what they like. But over the long term, this should be a very successful project. But the next couple of years are the first 1 or 2 years, 3 years after you introduce the fish, it is always trying, because you're trying to find them, and it virtually is. It's a needle in the haystack when you look out here and say you're going to keep track of 300 fish until they start reproducing, and you start getting thousands of fish out here. It's very hard to track them, but overall these fish are very adaptable. They've handled extremely well coming out of Como Creek. Obviously we got into Como Creek in time that the fish weren't heavily stressed. The time period of holding them between the time they were electrofished and captured out of Como Creek and moved into here has helped them, and they're really in good shape, and really didn't lose any fish moving the fish from the holding area up into the lake today.
This is getting the fish first, and then we have a position where we can drive them up to a lake high in the Boulder watershed, that's Goose Lake, and stage from there for hauling them in. Now, the taking them up to the upper lake does not have to happen today, but it certainly could, depending on how many fish we actually have to move.
I got 6 plus 2.
You got 8. Okay,
They got 3. Roseland.
So, yeah, we're looking at this area for travel management right now.
He put that knee brace on this morning
Yes.
Yeah, he actually is faking the whole time.
after his 3-mile jog.